Looking for a doctor near you? Get instant appointment confirmation with doctors. Download the free Practo app now.
Oh, Dishan,
Yes, Mahesh.
yeah, can you check the voice and are you able to share the screen? Please check. We do have a 5 minutes, so you can check the internet connectivity and all.
Can you hear me now? Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, Dishan.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I'm able to see your screen.
Okay, great.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
Sir, with your permission, we can start with Ganesha prayer, sir.
Yes, sir. You can start. And secondly, we have make the program live on the YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, you can start, sir. Not an issue.
I am not plausible. I don't know how to share the song, sir. I can only
You can
box.
share. You can share me the link on chat box. I will do that.
Chat box I already shared, sir. Better to share it, sir.
Okay, 1 second.
YouTube link, sir.
Okay, fine.
Sir, please. Sir, please.
I'm doing that. Don't worry.
Accept. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome.
That's nice. That's it. This is our custom, no, sir. Starting with prayer song.
Yeah, perfect.
Sir, sound please. Unmute. Sir, sound not. Sound option, sir. Again, sound, sir. Please check it.
Yes, sir. Yes.
What is the problem, sir? Sound.
You're not.
Yeah, I'm not audible.
Ishan, are you getting the voice?
No, sir.
I can
No,
get
sir.
the voice, but the video is not playing.
Isha, can you share that?
Yeah, you share me the link. I'll do it.
YouTube link is there, sir, in short box. Sir, please. Okay.
Please check your chat box, Ishan. Just please share.
My name is Abhinandan Sarkar, and I serve as the academic director for the program. With 1.5 lakh vacancies.
Yes. ಊರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ Thank you, sir. Anjaneyulu sir.
చెప్పండి
Start sir. Start sir. Start.
సార్ ఓకేనా సార్ హలో सर
बोलो अंजी बोलिए।
सर रमेश साहब से बात करो प्रिंसिपल सर आए कि नहीं रमेश सर
Sir is there.
अरे सर ओके
Sir, welcome sir. Our principal sir, Dr. Sudhakar Reddy sir. Please inaugural remarks sir. Start with the program sir. Principal sir.
Yeah.
Please.
Good morning to all HITAMites and other delegates who are attending this program on how to write research papers. And this is initiated with the interest shown by our librarian Ramesh and Narayan Rao, and with the support of Anjaneyulu. And in this corona pandemic time, many of the faculty are doing work from home, and this is a time to utilize the opportunity to improve the research capability. So that is possible by referring the various journals available in the various national and international journals. At the same time, one should aim to produce quality paper. So quantity is different, quality is different. The quality of your research is being rated with Scopus or Web of Science, and so that you will improve yourself. The learning, continuous learning is possible only by the teaching as well as involvement in observing the various technological updates. That is possible by going through the various journals available. At the same time, observing and studying and use your innovative ideas and concepts so that new thinking or new ideology can be framed, new methodology can be framed, even over the previous one. Small delta X improvement is there for this one, that is a good achievement. So this is the way a teacher has to improve the publications. Number of publications will increase the strengthening of a faculty. At the same time, the knowledge will be shared among the students. It is benefit for yourself, for the students, as well as the institution, and as well as to the community. Therefore, there was a slogan, publish or perish. So as long as in the teaching community, our role is to publish as many papers as possible by involving the students and by involving yourself and seeing that good quality output can be obtained. So this is the possible only with the going to the various research journal, etc. And this workshop is aimed to give how to write a best paper, how to publish a paper in the Scopus journals or Web of Sciences, what are the factors to be considered. So what are the bottlenecks, etc. All these things will be clearly explained by the team. I thank once again our librarian team and Anjaneyulu garu for arranging this program. Thank you and I hope all the delegates and participants will gain some amount from this small effort. Definitely will feel happy. Thank you once again for giving this opportunity to speak on this session.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Principal sir. Sir, this is Ramesh, librarian, HITAM College, sir. What I can say, sir, today is the program of our Nexus global EdTech research related details. They can explain about how to write the paper according to the various publishers, quality. Nowadays, we are facing difficulty publishing in journals. Reviewers are rejecting and sending back to rewrite and correction. So that may not happen. I think this will help all the faculty. Thank you for the management, sir, principal, sir, as well as Nexus. All the participants, welcome to this webinar. And I hope this will help the writing papers in such a way. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ramesh sir and principal sir. Jishan, you can start. Yeah.
Yes, sir. You can start.
First of all, thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to do this demonstration. And I think the number of participants that we have today in the meeting itself is one of an example of the success of the event. So we have close to about 280 plus participants. So we will go through the webinar in detail. And during the webinar, if anybody has any questions, so everybody has an access to the chat panel where they can go ahead and ask any questions that they have. Now, we would be discussing all of these questions at the end of the webinar. So we will have about 15 to 20 minutes at the end of the webinar session where we will go ahead and answer all the questions that you have. Now, I would also take this opportunity to thank Dr. S. Sudhakar Reddy, principal at HITAM, and also Mr. E. Ramesh, the librarian at HITAM, for giving us an opportunity to do this webinar.
Mr. Jishan, sorry to interrupt you. We are getting low voice.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Sound?
Can you hear me now?
Your audio? Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a bit better?
Yeah, it's a better now.
Okay, sure. I think so. We have muted all of the other persons, so I think we can just probably go ahead and start the webinar now. Mahesh, can you see my screen?
I'm able to see your screen. Perfect. Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Now, let's. The today's webinar is about how do you effectively and efficiently write your research article. Now, I'll walk you through what are some of the most common problems that a researcher faces, or a faculty or an author or anybody who writes a research article faces in his entire research article lifespan. Also, I will also take you about what are some of the most common problems that are faced by the researchers across the globe, and what are the tools that are currently available and how are they solving the problem. Now, so basically, we would be talking about a platform called Typeset. Now, we have been in the business since the last 7 years, and we have been working with various organizations and institutions in India as well as in globe. So we have scientists from CERN, we have scientists from NASA, a lot of other prestigious institutions who are readily using our platform. Now, over the past 7 years that we've been in the business, we have done a lot of surveys and we have done a lot of research, understanding what are some of the most common problems that are faced with the researchers today. Now, imagine that you are from a physics background, or you're from a chemistry background, or probably you're from a biology, or it might be any subject area that you might be doing a research in. Now, the first step is you choose a particular subject area in which you want to do a research. You might be from mechanical engineering, you might be from electronics, or in anywhere else. So once you choose a particular domain, the next step is to do your research. Now, you spend about 3 to 4 months after doing your research. You have come up to a conclusion that this is what your research article is, and you have completely written that on MS Word, or probably physically on a notebook, or anywhere else, whichever you would prefer. Now, after that, one of the most important steps is to choose a journal where you would want to publish this research article in. Now, if you're from a chemical background, or if you're from electrical or any technical background, you might be only aware of the top 3 or top 5 journals in your particular subject area. Now, after you've chosen the journal, what are the problems that you will have to go through? Now, the first step is basically the formatting takes a lot of time and manual effort. Now, what I mean about that is, after you've written your research article, what happens there is, after you've chosen the journal as well, it is very important for you to go ahead and format a research article according to the research guidelines. Now, if you just probably go on Google and just do a very simple search. Now, let's imagine that you might be writing a research article for an Elsevier journal. Now, you will just go ahead and probably do a Elsevier author guidelines, just a simple search, and you'll get a PDF that will talk about what are the guidelines an author has to understand before submitting a research article. Now, here you can actually see that each and every journal actually has a specific guideline. Now, what
Getting some disturbance. Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
Yeah, voice are at dog and all. Like
One moment. What is the voice? Okay, one moment. Is it a bit better now, Mahesh?
yeah, it's a better.
One moment, Mahesh. Just give me one. Yeah, Mahesh, is it a bit better now? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sure. So we were talking about what are the author guidelines, right? So these guidelines are basically need to be understood by an author before submitting an article to a respective journal. Now, these guidelines actually have a lot of minute details about how your conflict of interest should be written, or what should be the text format, what should be the text size. All of these details are actually mentioned in this particular document. Now, after you have done your research for about 3 to 4 months, the next step is about formatting this research article according to these guidelines. Now, an author has to easily spend more than about 5 to 6 days in just understanding what are these guidelines, right? So if you want to submit a research article to Elsevier, it is mandatory that you need to convert your research article according to these submission guidelines. Now, in that, what happens is the formatting takes a lot of time and manual effort. Now, imagine that how would you format a research article? You would generally use an MS Word to format all of this, where in MS Word you will have to go ahead and individually edit even the smallest of the smallest element. Now, apart from that, the other tool that is used widely across the research domain is LaTeX. Now, what does LaTeX do? So, LaTeX is one of the tools widely by the researchers across the globe to write the research article. You generally use an MS Word to format all of this, where in MS Word you will have to go ahead and individually edit even the smallest of the smallest element. Now, apart from that, the other tool that is used widely across the research domain is LaTeX. Now, hello.
Yeah, Jishan.
I think there's some technical issue, Mahesh. Can you widely by the researchers across the globe to write the research article? You generally use an MS Word to format all of this, where in MS Word you will have to go ahead and individually. Mahesh, is it a bit better now?
Is barking there. तो उसको शांत कर दो यार किसी को बोल के.
Okay, one moment, Mahesh. I'll go to a different room.
Ramesh sir, please use the single login, because when you are using two phone, so two logins, so your voice is getting echo. Okay.
Okay, 1 minute, sir. 1 minute.
Yeah, Mahesh, I think it's a bit better now.
Yeah, it's a better now.
Sure. Now, so we were talking about what are the tools that are commonly used for formatting a research article. Now, the one of the most commonly used tool is MS Word. Now, apart from that, the other tool that is used by the researchers across the globe is actually LaTeX. Now, LaTeX has a huge learning curve. Imagine that if you're from a non-programming background, if you're from a computer science background or if you know some sort of a programming, understanding latex would become much more easier. But if you're from a non-programming background where you will have to probably understand how latex works, and then the same article would have to be written in probably code. Now let me show you an example of a simple search. So if you just probably go ahead and do a simple search as latex code for title, you'll be able to understand that a simple line of just to write a simple title, you might require at least about 15 to 20 lines of code. So this is an example of a simple code for just writing a particular title. So due to this, so we believe that latex has a very huge learning curve. And if you're from a non-programming background, latex does not have any other applications as well apart from writing a research article. So if you're from a non-programming background, you have already spent about 3-4 months in doing research, and then probably about you might have to spend another week just understanding the submission guidelines, and probably another week how to understand latex, right? So which is a very time consuming process, assuming that since most of the faculty at HITAM and as well as the students as well as the graduates and the postgraduate students would have a lot of academic pressure on them, it becomes very difficult for them to probably understand the submission guidelines, the latex coding, and then probably go and format the research article. Now apart from that, what happens, one of the other common problems is currently in the research ecospace there is no powerful tool that is used for citing, formatting, as well as for building a particular research. Now what I mean by this is every researcher across the globe would use multiple different tools for completing a research article. Now for formatting, you might be using MS Word or you might be using LaTeX. Now for citing, you might be using Mendeley or you might be using EndNote or any other citation software. Or for building your research, you might be using, again, MS Word, or you might be taking this kind of mental notes or probably physical notes on a book or anything like that, right? So generally, a researcher would have to keep hopping on between one tool to the other tool, right? Just for completing a single research article. Now, another important problem and one of the most important problem today during this pandemic is collaboration with co-authors. Now, you might be aware that a single research article might have multiple different authors, right? So a single article can be co-authored by up to 5 different co-authors. Now, in such case, what would happen here is, collaborating online would become very, very difficult, because now most of the collaboration either happens on an email or either it happens in a physically, where all of the co-authors would just sit at a single page and then they would brainstorm and then they would come to a conclusion. But if you're doing it on an email, there would be thousands of emails that would get exchanged, in probably understanding a single change that you would want to do on a research article. So this is again one of the most important problem. Now, apart from that is, if you have a particular guide who's actually helping you write a research article, getting that document independently reviewed on probably an email would also be a very time-consuming process. So these are some of the most common problems that are faced with the researchers across the globe. Now, how Typeset can actually bridge this gap? Now, basically, what is Typeset? So Typeset is an authoring platform that has been built for researchers. Now, what we've done is, over the past 7 years, we've understood some of the most common problems, and we have built a platform just to solve these kind of problems in an automated fashion. So Typeset has been built to eliminate the formatting needs. Now, what we have done is we have converted these guidelines into individual templates. So an author, after he finishes the research article, after writing a research article, he does not have to go ahead and learn latex, or he does not have to go ahead and understand these guidelines. Rather than that, he can just create an account in Typeset. He can search for the specific template, and then he can upload his research article, and then the software would automatically convert that according to the submission guideline. Now, so we have more than 50,000 plus national, international journals which are indexed in Scopus and Web of Science. So so we have a very large database ranging from any subject area that you would want to write a research article for. It might be from arts, it might be from humanities, it might be from nanotechnology, astrophysics. You name any keyword or you name any domain, and we would have at least a few journals. We would have at least a few journal templates on our platform. Now, how does it work? So basically, it's a clutter-free editor. It does not require any sort of coding. So you do not need to learn latex, or you do not need to learn any sort of technicalities for it. It's just a very simple plug-and-play software where you choose a template, you upload a research article, and the software would automatically format it according to the guidelines. So using Typeset, you'll be able to easily add references, equations, figures, as well as tables into the document. Now, what the software does, as I mentioned to you initially, that it would automatically format your research article according to the journal guidelines. Now, once the formatting has been done, you will be able to download the document into into a submission ready format, either in PDF, either in MS Word, or in LaTeX formats. Now, apart from that, the software would also do an instant reformatting to suit a different journal. Now, imagine that you had chosen Elsevier, but by any chance, if Elsevier rejects your research article, now you might have to just go ahead and write that particular research article for Springer. Now, what would happen in that case is, at that point of time, you will have to just go ahead and again spend some time understanding what are the guidelines for Springer, and then again, spend another week about formatting your research article according to their guidelines. So what the software would do here is that it would eliminate that, and it would just instantly reformat a research article from Elsevier to Springer with just a few clicks, and you'll be able to collaborate seamlessly between users. So rather than going how about the product features, so I'll just directly go ahead and go to a very live demonstration. So you'll be able to look at how you'll be able to use the platform. So we currently have, all the participants who are a part of the webinar today just can go ahead and visit our website, typeset.io, where you'll be able to go ahead and create a free account for yourself and use the platform for up to about 1,000 words. Now here you can see that we would create an individual login for a particular institute. So for an example, Government College of Engineering, Amravati is one of our clients, and you can see how we have created a separate domain for them. Now here, the students can actually sign up using their official email address as well as the password, and then they can log into the particular platform. Now let me log in and show you how the platform would look like. So this is an example of a separate domain for a particular university. Now you put in your email address and the password and then log into the software. And the moment you log in, you will see that you will actually land on the dashboard. And the moment you land on the dashboard, you will see that towards the left, you have different segregations such as the recent documents, shared with me, favorites, or anything like that, where if any document that you've recently uploaded, you should be able to look at that document here. And if there's any document that you have particularly star marked or anything like that, they would be under favorites. Or if there's any document that you have deleted, they should be in the trash folder. Now, the first step in processing a particular research article is going to the templates gallery. Now, when we go to the templates gallery, what happens here is you'll be able to, go ahead and search a particular keyword. Now, for an example, if you're writing a research article for humanities or for probably arts or for any other subject area. Now, since we have a lot of participants in the webinar today, if any of the participants would want to suggest a journal or anything like that, we would be happy to take that as an example. Now, any participants can go ahead and put the name of a journal or any keyword that they want to, and I'll use the same journal format as an example. Or if you have any faculty members, they can go ahead and tell us the name as well. Now, I think we have got a suggestion as BMJ. So let me just go ahead and probably type in as BMJ here. Or we have something called as meta material, right? Let me search. I think there is another emotional intelligence. One moment. So we are getting a lot of requests. So probably I'll just go ahead and choose this as Journal of Hazardous Material. So Journal of Hazardous. So we have Journal of Hazardous Material in Elsevier, right? So you can see that with just a simple keyword search. So this is just an example of searching a name of the journal. Now let's assume that hazardous material was a keyword, right? Let me just copy that. Now let me show you how the other option would also look like. So for an example, let me just go and delete it. And then I just put in a keyword as hazardous material. Now under a single keyword, you will see that there are about 1,500 journals that are there under hazardous materials. Now the keyword actually shows you all the journals that are under hazardous or probably materials journal, right? Similarly, you can probably go ahead and put in any keyword. Now for an example, I'll just go ahead and put in as physics, right? Now, if I move, the moment I search for physics, you'll see that there are about 700 plus results related to physics journal. Now, similarly, you can go ahead and put in as social sciences. Right. So we'll search for social sciences. Now, since we have Dr. Ramesh, who was also coordinating with us, I'll also probably search for library sciences, right? So you can name any keyword or probably name any domain, and under that domain, we'll have at least a few journals that would show up under this particular journal. Right now, you can see how this looks like. Now, for an example, I'll just probably go ahead and search for this Emerald Publishing. I'll click on View. Now, the moment I click on View, you'll see that this is how the template would look like. Now, let's probably choose a 2-column template. Let me search for probably Bentham Science, right? I'm searching for Bentham Science. So under Bentham Science, we'll probably go ahead and choose current analytical chemistry. So I'll click on View. Now, the moment I click on View, you'll see that this is how their template looks like. So this is according to the submission guidelines. Now, once you've chosen the template, you click on Use Template With, and then you click on My MS Word file. And here you'll be able to go ahead and upload the document that you want to convert it into a submission ready document. So I'm going ahead and uploading a document called as a demo document. I'm clicking on Open. Now, the moment I click on Open, what the software will do is the software will import all the contents from your document onto the editor. So you do not need to go ahead and specifically format the docx file that you're uploading. The only requirement that you need to do is you will have to just go ahead and manually edit. You'll have to just go ahead and highlight the titles as well as the subtitles into the document before uploading on Typeset. Now you can see that the article has been processed. Now you just need to, so we have built an artificial intelligence engine which will analyze the document, and then it will import all the content from the document onto the editor. Now during that process, even though the software does almost 85 to 90% of the job automatically, there are a few elements in which it requires some sort of a help. Now, what I mean by that is basically you need to just go ahead and help the document, help the software in identifying a few elements. So you click on Let's Go. Now this pop-up will tell you to choose the box that contains your article's title. So this is my article's title. I selected that. I click Save and Continue. Now these are my authors and affiliations. So I select my authors and affiliations. Then I click Save and Continue. Now apart from that, the next step is to choose the abstract. I've chosen the abstract. Then I click Save and Continue. Now, apart from that, the next step is to choose the first reference and then the last reference. Now, while you're uploading the reference, you'll notice that the author names in the first reference is actually jumbled across, right? Now, what would happen in this case is the software has an ability to automatically rearrange the name of the authors and then format it according to the style of the current analytical chemistry journal. Now, once you've chosen the references, you click Save and Continue, and then you click Preview Formatted Document. Now, the moment you do that, the software would automatically convert this research article according to the guidelines of current analytical chemistry. The conversion process would easily take about 30 to 60 seconds, depending on the size of the file and also depending on the speed of the internet connectivity. Now we can see how the document is being converted. So generally, the conversion process easily ranges about 30 to 60 seconds, depending on the speed of the internet connectivity as well as the size of the file. Yeah. So now you can see how the document is converted this research article according to the guidelines of the Bentham Science. Right. So initially, when we uploaded this particular document, was actually a single column document. Now, in this, what would happen here is when you choose a particular single column, we uploaded a single column document. Now you can see how the software has automatically converted that into a guidelines of Bentham Science Journal. Now, if you have to make any edit to this document, you do not need to do it on docx and then again re-upload. So rather than that, you can click on Edit on Typeset, and when you do that, the software would automatically format the research. The software would take you on the editor. So this is how the editor would look like, where the editor has been divided into 3 different, panels. So towards the topmost right, what you're basically looking is a preview panel. So this shows you how your document is getting built in real time. Now this at the center actually shows you, this is basically an editor which actually works like MS Word, where you'll be able to make any addition, make any customization to the document, add, delete content, whatever that you wish to do so with the content. you can easily go ahead and do that here on the editor. Towards your left, you have basically an outline section, you have an author section, and then you have a metadata section where you can go ahead and add the keywords and everything. Now you can see that the software has automatically added the metadata, the keywords here. And then there is also, and I'll tell you what are the manual elements that an author has to go through while processing a article. Now, in certain cases, even though the keywords have been imported here in the keyword section, there would be a copy of keywords that is showing up here. So in such cases, you'll just go ahead and delete it. And then whatever changes that you make on this editor, if you want them to reflect in this document, you just need to use this refresh button. Now you can see that there is an extra copy that is showing up. So let me just go ahead and refresh. Now, the moment I do that, you will see that the content would automatically get deleted from the document. Yeah, now you can see how the content has been deleted from the document. Now, apart from that, the software would automatically take care of the formatting of the tables, the equations, the figures, and everything, where you do not need to go ahead and do any sort of manual editing on this. The only thing that you might have to do manually is there are a few manual elements that you will have to do. So let me show that to you. Now, what would happen here is once the images have been imported, so the content, the caption of the images will always be below the image. So in such cases, you just need to cut this and you need to paste it here in the right space like this. Right? So I'm just cutting this particular caption and I'm adding it here, and then I'll just go ahead and delete this particular table. Now, once I've done that, now you can see that the images are actually coming up with the legends, but there is no caption that is showing up. Now, since we have added the caption, let's do a refresh, and now you will see that the software would automatically populate the caption. So you can see how the caption is showing up. Now, in the same image, what has happened is, since the image is a very big image, the image is actually taking up an entire page. Now, how do you make sure that this is actually gets fitted into a single column? Now, what would happen in a general case is, if you're using an MS Word or probably LaTeX, if you're using LaTeX, you might have to write at least about 30 to 40 lines of code. Or if you're just doing an MS Word, you might have to work around with the text and all that, because formatting an image according to a column fit is a very difficult task as well. So here on the soft, using Typeset, you'll just click on these 3 dots, and then you'll choose the width from full width to column fit. You click on column fit. Let's do this similar for this here as well, from full width to column fit, and then let's do a refresh. Now, the moment I do a refresh, you will see that the software would automatically format this image to be fitted into a single column. So it is getting refreshed. Now you can see how the image is showing up here into a single column, right? So let me show this as an example. Now you can see how the images have been fit into 2 different columns, right? Like this, similarly, you can go ahead and make a setting for the tables as well. So you can click on the tables and change the orientation from portrait to landscape or full width to column fit, whichever works best for you, right? Now, this is one manual work. Now, apart from that, the other manual work is if you have very large equations, or if you want to probably write a computer code or anything like that. If you've already done that, the software would automatically import it. But if you want to add a very large equation or probably very large lines of code, you can use the insert option and probably just go ahead and click on code snippet. Here, you'll probably write it as program for hello world. Right? Just an example. Now you'll just probably go ahead and add the line of code that you want to hear. Right? Like this, right? Now this is just a code snippet. Now similarly, if you want to add an equation, let's probably go ahead and click here, insert, and then equation. Under equation, you have inline and standalone. So click on standalone equation, and you have a visual editor that opens up. So where you can go ahead and manually add the equations, or if you have a LaTeX code. So I had generated a LaTeX code for this particular equation. I'll just go ahead and copy that, and under LaTeX, I'll just go ahead and paste it here. Now the moment I paste it, you will see that the equation will automatically get created. So if the equations are already there in the document, the software has an ability to automatically import it. So you do not need to worry. For naming an equation, you click on this inverted arrow, and then you will name this as equation 1. Now, once you do that, you just do a refresh, and then you will see that all of these changes, that the code snippet that you've written, and as well as the equation, would start showing up here in the document. so for the document to reflect these changes, it might take a few seconds. Now you can see how the code snippet has started showing up here, and then the equation that has started showing up here in the document. Now this is the other manual element. Now apart from that, one of the last manual element that you might have to do is about citation. So for an example, if you want to import a site, import the references from Mendeley or Zotero or EndNote or anything like that. So we already have provisions to do that as well. Now, if the references are already added into the document, the software can automatically import that as well. Now, but if you want to cite them, so this is how you will have to go ahead and cite the references. Now you have a reference called Kobayashi and Fisher here. You move the cursor, you click on cite, and then you click on references, and then from the reference bar you search as Fisher. Now the moment you get this Fisher, you click here, and then the reference would automatically get cited. Now similarly, I'll do that for once again. And we have a reference called YU Veta. So you click on here, and then click on cite, and then you click on references, and then you search for YU, and then you click on here, and now this gets cited. So like this, the software can actually help you cite the references. Now, if you want to go ahead and edit this reference, you click on the cite. For an example, you click on cite option, you click on reference. Now you have an option here to import or add references. You can click here, and then you can copy paste from MS Word, or you can, if you have a Reflex import, you can go ahead and add that. Or if you have Mendeley or Zotero import, you can go ahead and do that as well. If you want to add a BibTeX code or probably just go ahead and add manually, you can go ahead and do that as well. So whichever option works best for you, you can go ahead and utilize anything that would be comfortable for you. Now, once you have done that, you just do a refresh, and then you will see that your document will be completely ready for being submitted to the journal. Now, once it's completed, you can go ahead and download the PDF, and then you can go ahead and submit to the respective journal. So before submitting as well, so we do have the plagiarism check software that is integrated with the software. So here you can just go ahead and click on plagiarism check, and then you can straight away go ahead and click on new check, and then you'll be able to send this document for a plagiarism check. So currently we're integrated with Turnitin. So Turnitin is the plagiarism software. Turnitin is our plagiarism software partner, and whatever the plagiarism checks that you'll be doing on the document would actually be done through Turnitin. So before submitting the document, you can just go ahead and check for a plagiarism report, and then you can go ahead and submit the article as well. Now, so let's probably go ahead and click on File, and then click on Save As, then select PDF, include uncited reference, and then Download. So while you're downloading once you click on Download PDF, you'll see that within a span of about 20 to 30 seconds, the document would get downloaded. And now this is how the document is looking like. So this is a document that has been formatted according to the specification of the Bentham Science Current Analytical Chemistry Journal. Now you can see that the name here was actually jumbled up in the document that I had uploaded. Now the name is actually corrected automatically. When we uploaded the references did not have any sort of numbering, but now the software has automatically converted this according to the reference style of the Bentham Science. And so this is how you'll be able to go ahead and utilize the Typeset platform in converting your non-formatted research article into a formatted research article. Now, by any chance, if a research article gets rejected by the Bentham Science or by the Current Analytical Chemistry, because when Bentham Science calls for paper, there might be thousands of entries that it might get from across the globe. Now, your research article might get rejected for multiple different reasons. It might be due to the quality of the research article. It might be due to the quality of English, or it might be due to not following the submission guidelines, or it might be any XYZ reasons. Now, in such case, you as an author or you as a faculty member would get disheartened, or you would feel dejected, thinking that I might have to do this work again from the beginning, because you have already spent so much of time in formatting. If you are not using Typeset, you might have easily spent more than about a week's time just to format a research article. But if you're using Typeset, what the USP of the product is, it is in terms of reformatting a research article. Now imagine that if a research article gets rejected by Current Analytical Chemistry, you'll go back to Typeset, you click on this inverted arrow and click on Change Template, and then you will go back to the templates gallery. Here you'll be able to go ahead and make a change. So for an example, I'll just go ahead and search as analytical chemistry, right? So that was our initial So I'm just searching for analytical chemistry. So now you can see that there is a publisher by ACS, American Chemical Society, Analytical Bioanalytical Chemistry. So there are a lot of suggestions that are showing up here in the chemistry, into the chemistry keyword. So I'll just go ahead and probably choose ACS, American Chemical Society, click on view, and then I'll do is I'll just click on use this format. Now, the moment I do use this format, what the software will do here is the software would automatically convert my research article from the Bentham Science Current and Analytical Chemistry to a Current Analytical Chemistry by ACS. Now, once you've changed the template, you just need to just go ahead and do a simple refresh here. And the moment you do a refresh, the software would automatically update the template. Update that the software would automatically convert this according to the guidelines of ACS journal. Yeah. Now you can see how the document has been formatted according to the ACS guidelines. You can see the text size, the text font style, the formatting of the text, the formatting of the references, everything is completely changed, right? So once you change the template, you just click on File, click on Save As, select PDF, include unsighted reference, and then download. Now the moment you download, you will see that the document would get downloaded into a PDF within a span of about 30 to 60 seconds. And now you have the same article that was initially converted into Bentham Science, now has been converted into a American Chemical Society, right? Now, since we have a lot of faculty members as well as a lot of students, if they would want to convert the same research article into a thesis or probably into a conference paper, the software has an ability to do that as well. So you go back to Typeset, you click on the inverted arrow, then click on Change Template. Now, if you'd want to probably go ahead and convert this into a thesis template, so we do have a lot of universities across the globe who are using us. So for formatting the thesis as well as dissertations. Now you can see Massachusetts Institute of Technology, ETH, Zurich, Stanford, UC Berkeley, University Technology, Malaysia, Anna University. So probably let's just go ahead and select as Anna University. So this is an UG thesis format for Anna University. You click on View Format, and then you'll see that this is how their format looks like. Now once you've chosen the format, you click on Use this format, and now the software would automatically format this research article according to the thesis format of Anna University. Once you've changed the template, what you basically need to do is just wait, until this refresh button pops up. And now once that comes in, you just do a refresh, and then you will see that the software would automatically convert the research article according to the Anna University thesis guidelines. Yeah, now you can see how the Anna University how the document has been converted according to the Anna University thesis guidelines. Right now, according to these thesis guidelines, you can see how the formatting of the images, how the formatting of references, everything changes automatically like this, right? So once you know that your document is ready, you click on File, click on Save as PDF, include unsighted reference, and then download. Now the same research article, which was initially converted into Current Analytical Chemistry, and then according to ACS journal, now has been converted according to a thesis guidelines of Anna University, right? Like this. Now, since we have a lot of students as well as faculty members who actually do a lot of conferences in an year, right? So there might be multiple conferences a faculty member or a student might actually be doing in a year. So it's very important for them to probably repurpose their research article as a conference paper or anything like that, or anything of that sort. Now, in such case, you just click on this inverted arrow, then click on Change Template, and then you go to the conferences here. Now, since this was an article from ACS, there might be multiple, conferences across the globe which are in, chemical domain, or it might be from ACPI, it might be from academic journal conferences, academic world conferences, any subject area that you might be writing for. So let's probably go ahead and choose ACM conference template. So this is 2008 International Conference of Intelligence, Science, and Technology. I'll just go ahead and click on View Format, and then the software would automatically convert the same research article into an ACM conference template. Now it is the same process. Now once you have changed the template, what you basically need to do is you just need to wait until the refresh bar pops up, and once it does, you'll be able to, you'll be able to just go ahead and do a simple refresh. Now the moment you do that, you will see that the same research article now would be converted according to ACM conference guidelines. Now, once we have done a refresh, you will see that the software would automatically convert this according to a ACM conference template. And then when you know that the document is ready, you click on File, you click on Save as PDF, then you'll be able to download this research article according to the ACM conference template. So as you can see, the software, when we started, it initially started with current analytical chemistry, and then it was converted into an ACM journal, basically American Chemical Society, and then it was converted into an Anna University thesis guidelines, and now the same research article was converted into a ACM conference template. So basically, this is how you can go ahead and utilize Typeset software and then take care of all of your formatting needs. So we believe that the researcher should only be doing research which he's very good at, and formatting of these research articles or any such article should actually be taken care by a software like Typeset, so that the researcher can focus more on his research and do very good quality of research. And all the formatting needs, such as the formatting of the article, the figures, the tables, or all this monotonous task can actually be handled by a software like Typeset. So this is how basically you'll be able to utilize Typeset and then take care of all of your formatting needs. So Typeset not only helps you in terms of the formatting and reformatting, but it also helps you in terms of journal discovery. Now, what I mean by journal discovery is within just a simple keyword search, you will have thousands of journals at your fingertips, right? So generally, if you're from a chemical background, you might be aware of the top 3 or top 5 or top 10 journals. But if you're using Typeset, within just a simple keyword search, you'll be able to access about 800 different journals that you can go ahead and write your research article for. If your article gets rejected by polymer chemistry, you can go for medicinal chemistry, or any journal that is according to your the subject area, or according to the subject of the research article that you have written for. So we are not only helping you in terms of formatting and reformatting, but we are also helping you in terms of discovery of the journal, so that you increase your chances of your research article being published in any one of the top journals, so that it not only helps you improve the reputation of your work, but it also helps you increase the reputation of your subject area, or also of your particular institute. So this is how basically you'll be able to utilize Typeset and take care of your formatting needs. So we will probably stop here, and we will just go ahead and start answering any questions that you have. So all the participants who have any questions, they can probably go ahead and start asking us any questions, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. So I think there are a couple of questions here. So we'll go through them one by one. So the first question was from, I think initially we come across a little technical glitch, probably due to some voice issue as well as some disturbance in the background. So let me just search for this. So I mean, so K Venkatesh, we already have a recording of the session on YouTube, so you'll be able to go ahead and use that recording as well. So I'll ask Mr. Mahesh or Mr. Anji to go ahead and share the recording link with the librarian, so that they can go ahead and share that with you, so that you can access it whenever that you would want to. Now, the question was, sure. So I think, as I showed to you, there might be thousands of journals that we have. It might be from BMJ, metamaterial, or anything that you would want to, right? For an example, let me click on change template, and I'll just show you a few of the keyword search. For an example, I'll search as fuel journal. Now, under fuel journal, you will see that there are journals called as Journal of Photovoltaics and Solar Fuels, Journal of Petroleum Technology and Alternative Fuels, Journal of Mines, Metals and Fuels, like this, right? Now, apart from that, there was a journal for metamaterial. Now let me search for metamaterial here. Now you can see EPG applied metamaterials, or probably let's break this word into metamaterial like this. Now you can see that there might be a few journal called as metagene or anything like that. So whenever you search a keyword search, you should be able to find at least a few suggestions that would come across, and then you'll be able to do that as well. Now there's another suggestion called as an emotional intelligence. Let me search for emotional intelligence. So this is emotional intelligence. Now under emotional intelligence, we have about 300 plus journals here. Now finance as well. So if you want to put in as type in as finance, now under finance, there might be another 1,000 journals that would come across. There are about 947 journals. So journal of hazardous material, I think we started with that as well. Library sciences as well, we do have a lot of journals. Now all the journals are indexed ones. Yes, absolutely. So we do have a due diligence team which actually looks into these journal formats. Now most of the journal formats that are available on Typeset are Web of Science or Scopus index journals. They also have a very good impact factor score now, which is more than 2. So you can be assured that the quality of the journal that you're choosing here is a very top-notch quality, and this has been picked by a very due diligent team. And all of these journals are actually either indexed in Web of Science, Scopus, or any one of these very good reputed institutions. Now, the next question was, so does it check the plagiarism check by AI in this typeset? I think I showed to you initially that we're integrated with Turnitin. Turnitin is a plagiarism partner where you will be able to do a plagiarism check, directly on the platform itself. So if you have an institutional subscription with Typeset, you'll be able to go ahead and use the plagiarism checks automatically on the software. Now, Sudhir Chakravarti, is it open source or free of cost? So this is not an open source software. This is actually a paid software where you can go ahead and ask the institution to subscribe that for you. Like how an institution subscribe for Grammarly, in a similar way, you'll be able to go ahead and subscribe for Typeset. Now the next question is, for subscription, how much an institution should pay per annum? I think, yes, Naresh, I think we have shared the details of Mr. Anji, who is the right person to look at the subscription details and the subscription cost. So I think you can probably reach out to them and ask for more details, and he'll be happy to help you with that. Dr. Tejas Shah, can we sign up and use free of cost? Is it free for all? So Dr. Tejas Shah, the free software would only be for limited words, for more than about 500 words. So if you would want to use it for an entire document, you need to actually have either a premium subscription or an institution subscription. So if you go for an individual subscription, the cost per individual subscription would be very, very high. But if you go for an institutional subscription, the cost would be comparatively very less. And the benefits of going for an institutional subscription is that if there is any template that is not showing up on the templates gallery, we'll be able to go ahead and add that within just 24 to 48 working hours. Now, Maheshwari, does it have grammar check? So currently we do not have grammar check, but we only have spelling check that is built into the platform. Piyali Sen Gupta, yes, we are integrated with plagiarism check. Now,
sir, one of the participants asking, what about graphs and tables? Any alteration through this software as it is?
So in the sense, when you say alteration, what do you mean by alteration? So for an example, whatever graphs that you're adding, so the only change that you might have to do is, now if you've added a graph, you can see that the table. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, sir.
Now you
tables
can,
and graphs.
Yeah, you can see that now the graph would actually be basically a figure. Now you can click on this figure and then change it to a chart, diagram, figure, graph, plate, or scheme, whichever that you want to. Now we change this first graph, and this would come as graph 1, and now this would change. This would still as figure 1. Now the moment you again do a graph, this becomes graph 2, like this, right? So the figures of the graphs would automatically be formatted according to the guidelines of the journal. So you do not need to worry about that. Now, these are our this is the right person to reach out to, Mr. Anji, where you can probably just go ahead and reach out to them for any subscription related cost. Piyali Sen Gupta, is there any institution purchase? I think you need to probably check in with the library native institution. And if they have an institution subscription, you can go ahead and start straight away, start accessing it. And then I think Arun Kumar, as I mentioned to you initially, that this is not an open source software. You will have to go ahead and pay for it and then utilize the software. Raghavendra, is it open source software or paid software? Does it can be used by individuals or by institutions? So it can be used either by individuals as well as institutions, but we always recommend institutional subscription because the institutional subscription are comparatively cheaper, and then you'll be able to have a lot of other premium features using an institutional license. I think Mr. N. Naresh want us to unmute. I have important queries that will helpful others. So Naresh, I think you can go ahead and raise your hand. I'll try and unmute you so that you can go ahead and ask your question. I think you've already unmuted. So let me go ahead and Mahesh, can you please check if you can unmute Mr. Naresh here? I think Naresh, we do not have an access where we can give you to ask. I think let's wait for Mr. Mahesh to probably unmute you. Now, what is the subscription cost? I think you can go ahead and get in touch with the concerned person. Are abstract created automatically from the report? I think the abstract, so we do not create any content automatically. The only thing that we do here is we only format the content automatically. So you'll be able to download the LaTeX format as well. So click on file, you just click on LaTeX here, and then you should see that the LaTeX file would automatically get downloaded. Nilesh Sonara, the plagiarism is not a free. When you have an institution subscription, the institution pays in, before to use the plagiarism software. Now, so yes, Naresh, I think I'm using this, but the word format template is not perfect. So what happens here is we ideally recommend using the PDF format. The reason why you might feel a few differences in the word format is due to the fact that the same PDF would actually be converted into a docx format. Now, as you can see that most of the journals are readily accepting PDF. So we would recommend you to use the PDF option and then submit a research article into a PDF format. How to log on to Typeset? That is that an online software, or we need to download the software. So this is a cloud-based software, so you'll be able to go ahead and access this from just a stable internet connection. Feedback link, I think Dr. Pradeep Das, right after this webinar, you should be able to receive a feedback link on your registered email IDs. Now, Swapna, is the journal list updated every year as the journals are deleted from Scopus list? Absolutely, yes. So the journals are updated on a monthly basis. So if there is any addition or deletion from the the list or UGC journal list or probably Web of Science or Scopus, at that point of the time, the software can automatically go. The team would automatically remove or add any journal that gets added into the list. Now, can we log in with Google account? Yes, you can just go ahead and create an account using your Gmail ID. Now, Typeset is free for cost for accessing. So it is free for limited words, but if you want to access all the features, then it is a paid software. We upload our article in this website, then it is false on online domain. Is it safe? So Preeta, it's a very good question. So let me show you an example of what are the security practices that we follow. So we follow some of the best data security as well as the data privacy practices, because we know that the research article for you is a very private affair, and we follow some of the best state-of-the-art technology that is available at the moment in the world today. So the banks such as JP Morgan or ENY and all of these use some of the best encryption as well as the data security practices. We follow the same data security practices. So we have written an entire page on the privacy as well as the security policy. So you can just probably go ahead and have an access to it, and this would answer all of your questions that you have. Now, also to give you another assurance, so we have been used by some of the best institutions in the globe in India today. Now, what that means is that gives you an assurance that some of the articles that have been hosted on Typeset, they have written on Typeset as well, and we use some of the best state-of-the-art security policies, so you can be assured that your article would not be put on any of the online domain. Ashwini TVNL, I think you can check the quality of the journal as well. You can just go ahead and click on change template, and then here you should be able to go ahead and look at the journal. For an example, you type in as physics, right? So every journal would actually have an impact factor score. Now let me just go ahead and choose this particular journal as engineering physics. Now the moment I click on it, you will have some information here. So right now this information is not showing up, but you can just go ahead and probably just go ahead and do a very simple Google search, and then you will be able to realize that the journal would actually be a very important or a very good quality journal. Now, do you have Web of Science journals? How to get the list? So we currently do not give you a separate list, but I think it's a good suggestion. I will probably, we can go ahead and add a filter here, such as Web of Science Scopus, so that you'll be able to search the name of the journal. Whom to contact for institutional demo? I think you can go ahead and contact Mr. Anji, who is the right person to help you with the institutional demonstration. I mean, or a trial account or something like that. We currently do not, I mean, since there is a trial account for individual users, you can go ahead and create an account and start using with just a limited number of words. Now, I think sure, Sangeeta J, I think that's a good question. Let's probably type in as English here. Now you can see that the moment you search for English, there must be about more than a few journals that would show up. Now the software is currently doing a search. So until the search comes in, let's probably look at the other questions. Now you can see that under English, there are about more than 200 plus journals. So you can go ahead and use any of the journal from here. Now the other question is, what would be the individual cost for researchers? You can probably visit our website typeset.io, and from there you'll be able to look at what would be the cost for individual subscriptions as well. Shared by Mr. Ramesh here, so you can go ahead and probably put in the feedback link and automatically generate the certificates. There's another question by Shashi. Is there a possibility to upload the author guidelines and it will generate using those guidelines whose template is not in the software? No. So once you buy an institutional subscription, so if there's any template that is not on the gallery, you can go as and ask us to build that, and we'll be able to build that for you. I think so that's the end of the question. So there are a few questions here in the question and answers panel as well. So let me probably look at that. I think the question, and I think more or less we have answered all the questions that were there in the chat box. So if there are any other questions, just we can probably go ahead and put that in a chat box, and we'll be able to go ahead and access that for you. So there were other few questions. I think most of these questions are, have automatically been answered. So I think we do not need to worry about any other, options. So if there are any other questions, we'd be happy to answer them for you. All the participants still have an access to the chat box, so please feel free to ask any questions, and we'll be happy to help you.
Sir, most of participants are waiting for any complimentary access for any students as well as individuals, sir. Temporary.
Sir, I think I would request you to get in touch. I would request you to get in touch with Mr. Mahesh, sir. I think Mahesh would be the right person to answer that for you. Please get in touch with Mr. Mahesh, and then we will try and set up probably a complimentary access or probably a kind of a trial for you.
Really, Jantar Mantar type, it is very wonderful tool for publication purpose, sir. But subscription means dilemma again.
Correct, sir. I think I definitely understand, but what you also need to understand is that this is a software that requires a lot of engineering effort as well as a lot of operational cost, right? Now, since we have built in a software to help the researchers across the globe, there is a financial constraint that we also which we would incur, right? So due to that, we actually charge a very minimal amount for the students and the faculty members for the subscription. And I think the subscription costs also are very minimal. So I would request you to please get in touch with Mr. Mahesh, and I think he would be the right person to help you with any subscription related questions or any trial or probably complimentary access. Okay. So I think that's would be the end of the session. So Mr. Ramesh, do you want to probably add in anything here, or we can just straight away go ahead and end the session?
Add means nothing, sir. Conclusion is thank you for your wonderful presentation, your support, and all the participants, as well as our principal, my fellow colleague Narayan Rao sir, support. Thank you, one and all. Patiently listen. This shows interest, how seriously you are writing to the paper, such a wonderful Web of Science related, prestigious journals. Some doubt is still there, sir. Erased the doubts, but subscription is one again dilemma. That's it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all.
Sure, sir. I think there was last question. Anish KR, can we format manuscript for book publication in Amazon Kindle paperback? So currently the software does not give you an access to the book publication. It only gives you an access to the journal publication. Sure. So I think thank you so much for the participants as well as for the institution for giving us an opportunity to do this demonstration. And also I would request, I would thank all the participants for being patient with us and listening to this webinar. I think it's your patience that actually that makes this kind of webinars a lot of, makes it much more successful. Now, before I end this session, I would want to thank Dr. S. Sudhakar Reddy, principal at HITAM, and also Mr. E. Ramesh, the librarian at HITAM. So if there are any future webinars, we would reach out to the librarian and we would try setting up many more informative sessions in the future. And we hope that you will be able to write much better research articles and you'll be able to get it published in all of these journals that are there. So thank you so much, and you guys have a great rest of the day. Take care and stay safe. Mahesh, I think we can go ahead and end the session, right?
Yeah, Anjanil sir, Mahesh sir, thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ramesh sir.